Okay, in this section 8.3b, we're going to continue talking about our simple odds, and sometimes our probabilities are going to be expressed in the form of a ratio called odds. And odds are represented in the form of number of favorable outcomes, so that would be considered a success. So I'll put that up here, success at the top. And then that ratio to number of unfavorable outcomes, which is our failure. So the odds of it raining on Tuesday are what? Well, if we think about it, the success in this case would be raining. There's one success there. It either rains, or the unfavorable, it does not rain. That's one failure, one outcome there. So this odds right here is 1 to 1. It's either going to rain or it's not. Success, it rains. Failure, it does not. So our ratio, we could write that as a fraction or a ratio, 1 to 1. The odds of receiving a B in this course are what? So our success would be a B, to receive a B. That would be one outcome. And the number of unfavorable outcomes would be not receiving a B. So that would be an A, C, D, or F. That's 4 other options. So our odds are 1 to 4. So we can't include all of our options. It's not our total, it's our favorable, what we want to happen, to our unfavorable, what we don't want to happen. If we have a fair die that's rolled, what are the odds of rolling a 5? So in this case, we would have one success. A success is considered rolling a 5. So there's one outcome there that we would consider a success. All of our other outcomes would be rolling 6, a 4, 3, a 2, or a 1. So that's 5 other unfavorable outcomes. So our odds here are 1 to 5. What are the odds of rolling a prime number? So our prime numbers are 2, 3, and 5. So that's 3 successes. 3 different outcomes could be considered a success there. And then our not prime numbers, our unfavorable outcomes, would be 1, 4, and 6. So there's 3 unfavorable. What are the odds of rolling a number less than 4? So our success in this case would be rolling a 3, 2, or a 1. Those are all less than 4. So we have 3 successes. And if we rolled a number that was a 4, a 5, or a 6, those would be considered failures. They're not less than 4. So that's 3, 2, 3 as well. What are the odds of rolling a number greater than 2? So if it's greater than 2, that would be 3, 4, 5, or 6. That's 4 outcomes would be considered a success. And then a failure would be considered rolling a 1 or 2 because they're not greater than 2. So 4 to 2. A jar contains 10 red candies, 16 green, 6 orange, 9 yellow, and 15 purple. So this question is familiar from the last one, but looking at odds, what are the odds of selecting an orange candy? So there's 6 orange candies. There's 6 outcomes that would be considered a success. And then we would want to add up all of the rest of the candies. So we would have 10 plus 16 plus 9 plus 15, which gives us 50 of my other candies. Those 50 would be considered a failure. Then we have, what are the odds of selecting a red candy? Well, if I have 10 red candies, that would be 10 successes. And then my failures would be the rest of my candies. Add the 16, 6, 9, and 15, and I get 46. Okay, what are the odds of not selecting a yellow candy? So if I added up all of my candies except my 9 yellows, that would be 47 candies. And my failure in this case would be if I actually did select the yellow candy, so that's 9. What are the odds of not selecting a blue candy? So if I add all of them up except for blue, which I don't even have any blue, so a success would be selecting any of my candies. That would be 56 candies. I could select any of those 56 and it would be considered a success. And then for a failure, there are no candies that are blue, so my odds there are 0. My number of outcomes would be 0. Then finally it says the odds of selecting a green candy is 16 to 40. What is the probability of the same event? So if my odds are 16 to 40, that means 16 of my candies are going to be green because there are 16 favorable events. And remember, if I have favorable over the total for my probability, that would mean I'd still have 16 on the top of my ratio, but now I want to add up 16 plus 40 is 56 to get my total in order to find the probability. And that simplifies to 2 out of 7. So the difference between probability and odds is that probability is favorable to total, odds is favorable to unfavorable.